Started.
Nah, nah, nah. We are live at last. Hi, I'm Gloria, and this is Open Minds podcast Non-Duality. We are 3 minutes late due to my guest, bad Emerson, naughty Emerson. Welcome to the show, my love.
Oh, thank you, Gloria. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
bless you. I just popped into Emerson's Zoom, um, where we had a load of people in, and I loved your analogy with the dog and the stick. And we had conversations with people. They had questions, and it was lovely. And I think you're very brave because I would have said, "I'm getting out of here. I'm going to have a coffee and a cigarette." You just handled it beautifully. Now, when I saw you, Emerson, on other podcasts, I loved the humor. I use humor. I don't use humor. I am humor. I am the joke, so to speak. And I loved how you expressed it, but more importantly, how you expressed the dream journey in brackets, um, to where, which I think there were vital points to get out there. Um, and I think it does relate to one of the questioners in your Zoom recording, where she spoke about the gentleman with psychiatric
Mm, yeah,
issues.
yeah,
And this is why I invited you onto the show, and I'm inviting all non-dualists.
yeah.
I don't use the word spirituality, and I don't love non-dualists, but I've got no other terminology for the silent, so I'm using it. And this is important because this can happen if you follow or believe certain spiritual things of this awakening, realization, and all the rest of above. So, does that resonate with you where I'm going with
Yes.
this?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's really important. So, now we've got that out the way, I'm
Yes.
just going to ask you a question.
Sure.
Where did it all begin?
Just like any other seeker, the journey, apparent journey started when there was something. There's got to be something better than this.
Yeah,
There's something missing.
yeah,
So the character, Emerson, seemingly achieved, financial, stability, and that was not enough,
hmm,
right? So it started, listening to various, spiritual teachers, and then found out that there is a so-called enlightenment, a
yes,
so-called liberation. So
yeah,
there was an instant attraction to that.
yeah,
And so there was this meditation happening and all this kind of stuff,
hmm,
that because that would be the ultimate attainment.
hmm,
So when there's this seeker, it doesn't matter if you're seeking financial
hmm,
fame or whatever, but this one's seeking for liberation, seeking for the end of suffering, so to speak.
hmm,
um so when it encountered different, went through the whole spiritual circus, the whole buffet, so to
hmm,
speak, right? And so there was this, I think 10, 15. I'm no good with timeline, so this might be a mistake. So about 10, 15 years ago, I don't know, something that never happened.
yeah,
There was an initial collapsing, so to speak, or awakening,
yeah,
and I saw just everything as whole, or at that time I interpreted it as I saw everything as God.
yeah,
So I was like in a street where there was a lot of suffering,
hmm,
in a downtown east side in Canada, city in Canada. So there
hmm,
was heroin addicts, and there was just a lot of suffering,
hmm,
and then I saw everything as already complete.
hmm,
So I hugged everybody, and people that had addiction said, "What are you on?" I'm like, "Nothing." It was just this
yeah,
this apparent blissful awakening. At that time, that's what I thought it was, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
so
By the way, I know that feeling. I
yeah,
know that first one. Yeah,
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 it's like the perfect, high.
yeah. Without the drugs.
Without
Yeah,
the drugs.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here I was, basically seeing the social workers and the people that were suffering on the street as the same. um so I was walking down, and there was just this openness, this wide openness with
Yeah.
everything, and saw a place, and decided right there and then at that day that I was going to open a center, meditation center.
Wow.
or people that perhaps had addictions can, because I attributed it to meditation. I
Yeah.
thought that what happened was, although what was really happening was, um, it was my dog. I was looking at my dog, and my dog was just really kind of like embracing everything. Didn't matter if someone's on the gut or shooting up heroin, or just it was just this openness, and I was like, oh wow. But I attributed it at that time to
Yeah.
my practice of meditation and everything, that collapsing awakening or something. So
Hmm.
I thought that I would serve others. So my
Yeah.
purpose was to be of service, kind of like a bhakti, or
Yeah.
a karma yogi, basically, right?
Yeah.
Serving others, and which is really blissful. There's nothing wrong or right about that.
Mm.
So I opened up a center, and people started coming and started teaching spirituality. I started teaching the sutras, uh, started reading, basically it became a spiritual path for me.
Yeah.
And for quite a while, that was quite blissful and everything, and there was just this bliss, this happiness that was incomparable, of
Hmm.
serving others. And there was earnestness really in helping others. So I
Yes.
was helping others really, really earnestly. And then all of a sudden, years later, there was maintenance. I would meditate 3 to 4 hours a day. I would practice awareness, all this stuff that
Yeah. Yeah.
abiding, all that kind of
Full
stuff.
time spiritual
Full
guru. Yeah.
time
Yeah.
spiritual guru kind of thing, wannabe. Anyway, so there was this maintenance of that, and then when let's just say it. Am I allowed to say shit?
You can say
Um,
shit, fuck,
okay,
whatever you want.
all
It's
right.
my show. It's my show.
So when shit hits the fan, like for example, there was a relationship that was ending that was for 10 years, or my mom was going to the hospital, having her third or fourth brain surgery.
Yeah.
No amount of meditation or awareness was helping me ease, right? I wanted to cry, but I was in front of people.
Yeah.
So one day I was meditating, for I don't know how many hours, like I just really want to go to a pub
Yeah.
and call my old mates, and drink and cry about it.
Yeah.
Right. Because here I was, heartbroken, and then fear of my mom losing my mom. But
Yeah.
I had to maintain this spiritual
Your
facade.
new identity. Your new
Yes,
identity.
yes. This is
Yeah.
supposed to be the Emerson, the apparently holy Emerson, or
Yeah.
the spiritual being, the higher
Yes.
self Emerson.
Yeah. The
The one.
identity jumped on it straight away.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. It happens a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So here I was kind of like maintaining that. So it's leading a double life.
Mm.
Uh, so I was kind of like teaching meditation in the morning, and then partying till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, during that time, I thought that I lost my enlightenment, because I'm like, oh no, because I drank, I lost my enlightenment.
Mm.
So there was this desperation to get it back,
Yeah.
because it was the cracks were beginning to show, right? The
Yeah.
cracks. I
Yeah.
had a lot of mentors, and I was talking to my mentors, and some of them I told what was happening, and they said, well, just keep on meditating, here's this, here's that,
Yeah.
here's
More
yeah,
doings and doings and doings. Yeah.
doings, and here's a book of Ramana, and here's a
Yeah.
book of Nisargadatta, just read that. So I must have read those like 5 or 10 times, because here I was in a position that was on a pedestal, and I had to maintain that.
Yeah.
But here I was really miserable in that
Yeah.
position, really miserable, right? Because, and of course, at that around the same time, maybe further than down, because I kept on hitting it was just, like I would have a glimpse, and then all of a sudden it's back to partying,
Yeah.
glimpse, and then back into
Yeah.
suffering.
Yeah.
And so when and there was depression that happened, there was
Yeah.
suicidal tendencies, all that kind of stuff, the classic story, so to
Yeah.
speak, um,
Yeah. It's
of destruction. So there was this so I saw a book by Richard Sylvester called I
mm,
Hope You Die Soon. So there was a death wish here, and I started reading that, and I guess I looked at it, and I was like, oh, there's this guy went to a Tony Parsons meeting. So I
mm,
started listening to Tony Parsons and Jim Newman and
mm,
Kenneth at that time, and
mm.
there was this kind of like, holy crow, there was this almost like I had a lot of, I thought I had a lot of spiritual, currency. I had a
Yeah.
spiritual bank. And when it was being expressed that it's actually zero,
Yeah.
there was this resonance, but there was also this dread that everything that I've done so far, meaning
Mm-hmm.
helping thousands of people, did not really mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow it also was liberating,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
there's this ownership that I am special, and there's this suggestion that you're nothing.
Yes. Yes. Now, I mean, I'm going to come in there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
sure.
this is hard to articulate, even though you described your, the failed spiritual guru, um, and then coming out, but it is an Emerson. It's consciousness, and that's the manifestation and the experience it chose. So within the dream,
Mm.
um, the avatar Emerson did assist in the dream, in the film, do that, and it was part of that. And I find that a lot. There's a lot of compassion before the said supposed awakening. I hate the word now. Um, there's a lot of compassion that the heart starts to open in the role. You're playing the role. Here we go, guys. You know me, juxtaposition,
Yes.
consciousness, Gloria. And the heart in the identity you believe you are starts to open. It opens, and with love and empathy and compassion. And this is a point where we need to step in and say, it happens. This is why Eckhart Tolle says, if you think you've realized, wait about 5 months before you write the book. Because when I remember the first time for me, I thought, that's it. And then Eckhart said, watch your ego, watch it. And I guarded it. I did guard it. So I didn't go down your road. But it's really important. It doesn't invalidate in the dream. This is a concession. It doesn't devaluate what the experiences you did to others. It does not. Because we all know to play this game of hide and seek, that just you being Emerson, even when you're an arsehole or a fake guru, or
Yeah.
who you are now, I have no idea who you are now, your energy is still touching the other consciousness in different manifestations. And hence we get the illusionary collective awakening. Did that come out all right? Because I tried my best to explain.
um there is I try to avoid the word consciousness, and I like the
Yeah.
word as empty as possible, although it's just words. It doesn't really
Just
mean
words.
anything.
I use God. I use, I
Yeah,
mean, everyone's got different.
let's just call it cinnamon roll. So
I
it's a
knew you were going to say that because you like cinnamon. You know what I mean?
so
Do you
it's
know what
all
intimate. I call it intimate, the intimate.
yeah,
Everyone's
that's a
got
good
their own
one. I like that one. It's the
intimate.
intimacy. So
Yeah.
let's use that one. So the
Yeah.
intimacy is just appearing as whatever it is. And there's
Yes.
nothing wrong or right, because in the
No.
story, there was a saint, but there was also a sinner. So
Yeah.
there was someone that was very earnest in helping others. There's also
Yes.
a sinner that didn't care about others, didn't
Yes.
care
Yes.
about the hurt and everything, by, being put in a pedestal and being
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
hungover the next day, or drunk, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Um,
Absolutely.
so it's the same story, and it's all empty stories.
Yeah.
And so it's nothing can it's kind of like the dog with the stick, right?
Yeah.
The opposite sides of the stick, the good or bad, it's not going to matter.
No.
It's not going to matter, because
However,
everything. Yeah,
hold on. I always jump in.
yeah,
Excuse
yeah.
me.
No, 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 no. Go ahead.
Because my conversations are not planned; they're organic.
Yeah,
So when you say so, I'm going to jump in.
yeah, yeah.
However,
Sure.
There's so many. We all use different analogies for the same thing.
Yes.
And this is what I find beautiful, and this is why I'm doing
Yeah.
this show. Your dog analogy, with the stick, I found. I'd never heard anything like that before. I mean, mine are quite mad analogies. They're worse than paradoxes, I'm telling you. However, it's explaining of when someone's that's just interested there, like sort of we were before. I'm slightly older than you, son, but not much. about 200 years.
I'm
Um,
51.
yeah, well, I'm not that older than you, so that's all right. So why do you look so good? I'm not having it. Um, so there's
Cinnamon
it's
rolls.
I
Plenty
do
of.
love cinnamon rolls. Stop it now. Stop it. Stop it. You're naughty. There's different, we all come in different ways. And I, at one point, I would say, way back in the day, we don't exist. And I just
Mm,
got this blank and I went, no, that's not working. It's just not
yeah.
working.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then so have you found through, this experience, like me, I change terminologies all the time now because it doesn't work anymore. It
I
doesn't work.
do too. I do too.
And
I'm a constant changer of
yeah,
words, you know what I'm saying? Because words are really just completely empty and meaningless. But there's this, it's just this energy. There's this energy that's
that's
unspeakable.
the
Yeah.
silence speaks. That's what the
Yeah.
show's called.
Yeah.
Silence
Yeah.
speaks, and that's why I've named the show this. Um, anyway, moving on because I've obviously digressed. I've gone off somewhere there.
No worries.
So you come out of the other side of your guru with your mother and everything. Um, you're playing two roles, two identities,
Yeah.
and then you seek other support. What happens next?
So it kept on listening to this communication, and it was beginning to see through
Mm,
my teachings, because everything was beginning to see as a facade, as
yeah,
something that is not true,
yeah,
because I was holding on to that pure consciousness, or
yeah,
absolute reality, or this, which I saw basically is the same as religion.
yeah.
So I was, and then I started seeing that I got out of the religious prison, only to land in a maximum security spiritual prison.
Yeah, exactly my
Yes.
thoughts. I,
Yeah.
I, I call spirituality an offshoot of religion. It's another religion.
Yeah.
It's a very, where the identity, call it
Yeah.
identity, ego, whatever you choose. I said, oh, I'll take this one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then when I got into the prison, you know what I'm saying? And it was just like, I didn't know that it was a maximum security jail.
oh
And there
yeah,
was a lifetime, there's a lifetime kind of like a
yeah,
almost like a lifetime
yeah,
imprisonment, because I was a teacher. I was a spiritual teacher.
yeah.
And then but I was also in prison. So how can I teach anyone to be free when I'm still in prison?
Absolutely. Do you
And
know
and
what I like about you, Emerson? I like your honesty. I put my hands up when I fuck up and I'm an arsehole
yeah,
and when I make mistakes. And that's what I really liked about you, your honesty. Because many, I'm in juxtaposition, Gloria talking here. I'm an interviewer today. Many people, they go through like similar to yours or and then they make a mistake and then they find themselves in an embarrassing situation. It can go either way. It can go your way
mm,
where you do get through, but then it can go the other way where they've got no one to talk to about this. They feel guilty, they're a fraud, they're a failure, they're still in the identity, and then mental health issues can come into play. And I find this, even though it's in the reality brackets, I still find this something that needs to be addressed and spoke about openly. Um,
yes.
does that resonate with you, Emerson?
Yes. So, the fall, or the fall, or the fall of the teacher
Yeah,
was stepping down some sort, and also getting canceled, you know what I'm saying, by people that that I used to preach and everything,
yeah,
this and that. And so it had to step down, and it exiled itself in an island, and it was actually really depressed for quite a while. So I was really
yeah.
depressed and
Well, would be, wouldn't it?
suicidal.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
sought some help, you know what I'm saying. Non-duality is not self-help. It's actually it's actually the seeing that everything is happening as it is. So if seeking for mental help happens, that's also what it is.
that's
So if seeking for, if getting help, you know what I'm saying, and and getting a therapist is just
yes,
what it is. There's
yes,
nothing wrong or right about that. It's just
no,
what's happening. It's not,
yes,
it's actually, it's not a bypassing, actually.
no,
It's not a bypassing. So
no,
when that seemingly happened, there was kind of like seeking for help and everything.
yeah,
There was an intensity in listening to more of the radical communication,
Mhm.
and I would listen to it 8 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. I make a lot of videos. Apparently, it's because there's a lot of people that are, what's the next video?
Yeah.
Nothing was learned. Nothing was achieved at all. One
Mhm.
day I was just DJing. There was just this seeing. Can you hear my puppy crying?
Yeah. It's fine. Fly away, puppy. It's fine.
So there was just this um, DJing happening, and there was just an absence of Emerson. There was never an Emerson. So there
Mm.
was a collapse of belief systems. So anything that Emerson held, beliefs, knowledge,
Mhm.
wisdom, history,
Mhm.
collapsed. And there
Tell
was
me
this
about it.
freedom. Yeah, there was
Yes.
this freedom.
Yeah. I mean, I want to address that too. It's like,
Oops.
oops, would you stop that now? I told you he's a very bad guest. Okay, very bad guest. No, it's true. It's a point comes where all the beliefs you had, concepts, ideas, what you think is right, the way to go, spirituality, rules and regulation, all of that is taken, dropped, whatever the word is, and then there's no thing. There is no ideas. There's no what do I do next? There's no doings. There's a, and that point for some can be an extremely scary one. I know with me, I sat there and I went to say, what do I do? As soon as I went to say, what do I do now? I went to, and I started bursting out laughing because I got it. But I said, I got nothing. Even my art at that point, I didn't art my artwork because I'm an artist. That's another label. I wasn't interested in anything. I wasn't disinterested or uninterested or over interested. And that point is a crucial point. And I call that the point in the illusion when you lose your mind and you have to go to the lost property board and advertise you've lost your mind. Okay. And hope that no one ever finds it because mine was full of crap. But anyway, so that is that point, but it can go either way, can it not? For some experiences,
What was seen is just the absence of the specialness, because
yes,
there was a lot of specialness that was held onto
yes.
in spirituality,
Oh my
and
God, yes,
and and it was just the obstacle,
yes.
seemingly, right, the obstacle of specialness. So
Special,
when this specialness was collapsed, right, there was just this humility. There's this humility that there's nothing happening,
no,
that there's no influence, there's nothing that I did, there's nothing
no,
special that I did.
no,
So there was just this clarity, that
yes,
this obviousness of what seems to be happening
yes,
is this stunning clarity that it is what it is, whatever it is. So the good or bad or
yeah,
horrible or blissful, all of the, maybe 100 of glimpses did not
no,
really matter,
no.
because I used to hold
I,
on to the glimpses before.
yeah, the specialness you speak about, um, for anyone who's watching live or replay, the specialist comes in many shapes and forms, and you don't realize it that your identity, your illusionary identity, has this, um, and you naturally think, "I'm doing good works, I'm being kind," and you are in the dream state, but you're taking ownership. It's actually life expressing itself through you. It's just experiences and it will go on without you or not. The difference is you're judging it. The mind, the ego is judging, but the experiences, you're not doing any. But this is the specialness. And when, with me, when I looked at my artwork, that was the final one, and I had no ownership of it. And the time, but mine was not taken in one go, it was bit by bit. There was three major, all on death. I nearly died about 3 months ago again in hospital. I just had three, all on death. But each time, I I didn't feel I had any possessions. I didn't have anything. This is a sense of humor of the intimate with this role. Let's take her to death 3 times. We'll do it this way, this way. Emerson, he went his way, I went my way. And I went, wow. So there wasn't any connection to the artwork. However, my art's come back, but in a different form. I now do sculpting. Duh. But there's no even connection to the sculpt, to the specialness. Like, I made that. I got the best. All of the different ways you can feel. I'm loved. Fuck that for a laugh. That's not love. Do you know? Excuse my French. Does this resonate with you, Emerson, about the different ways specialness can be played out in this game?
Yes, it's going back with the art. I like playing piano. I like DJing,
Yeah.
and when I DJ or when I play piano, all specialness goes away because there's no one doing it. I've always known that there's just this happening, that
Yeah.
there's just music playing, and I've been DJ'd. It could be dancing or it could be there's no specialness in it
No.
whatsoever. So when it's seen that everything is just occurring, seemingly
Yes.
occurring by itself without an influence or anything, then it's just this stunning clarity that the special or not special are just ideas in duality.
Yes.
And it's just really clear that this intimate is always this.
Always this. I mean,
Always this.
many people say to me, well, are you saying we don't exist? No, this is reality. This is the dream of the intimate. The intimate is playing multiple roles at multiple places at multiple times. So it is intimate, consciousness, God, whatever is your label. That is the only truth. So it's, that is the truth. And even when whatever happens to you, like whatever happened to Emerson, even when that happens, he's still in the role of Emerson. He still likes music. He still likes to joke. And he obviously fucking still likes cinnamon rolls. Nothing. People say, does it all stop? Do you go somewhere else? No. You still get pain. You still get bills. You still whatever, Trevor. I've got 6 children. They haven't disappeared, have they? Do you know what I mean? So I want to sort of bring in the juxtaposition. It all stays as it is. But for me, I want to bring in the next part of this is there is no psychological suffering.
Yes.
This is what I teach in my group. I don't like that word teach. This is what I share in my groups. This is my, whatever, Trevor, I'm here, is to work on the bipolar head, thought is causing suffering. You can have an experience of pain. I've had 6 children, so I experience pain. But you can have pain. Pain is one thing. This shall pass. It shall pass. But if you add on the psychological suffering, then that's where depression, mental health, suicide, all of this, and people are in their heads, they're walking around in prison suffering. So for me, this is a vital thing to work on. And I think this is where the sense of humor comes in, because when you do get it, it's funny. You don't laugh at suffering, you're talking about yourself, but it's funny that you put it this way, Emerson, I always say it, way back, I won an Oscar and a BAFTA for playing the victim. I was the best. You couldn't know.
I think I was nominated in that same category as you.
Was you nominated to? I'm sure I beat you though, because there wasn't a victim like me. I'm telling you. So I can look back now and I get the joke. I get the joke. However, juxtaposition coming from Gloria, when I was in that psychological suffering, I wasn't informed. No one informed me apart from Eckhart Tolle and his book, that there was a possibility to the end of suffering. And I think this is what our podcasts are all about, Emerson, that we can now say in 2022, I think we're 2022, there's a possibility, there is another way. How does this resonate with you?
It's the end of stories. And the
Yes.
story is the cyclical ideas
Sorry.
of this or that, good or bad,
Yeah.
blissful or suffering. So that ends.
Yeah.
That it collapses because the one that's holding the story, the storyteller,
Yeah.
is no longer in existence. And
Absolutely.
it's just the intimate, it's just the intimacy of everything
Yeah.
happening all at once. And then
Yes.
there's this narrative, the narrator and the narrative have collapsed, so
Yes.
that it's like I don't know if you missed it in a meeting earlier. It's like everything is silent and there's seemingly a soundtrack, kind of like
Yes.
a horror soundtrack, sometimes like
Yeah.
Jaws or Psycho,
Yeah. Yeah.
that soundtrack. And there's
Yeah.
comedy.
Yeah.
So what seems to happen is the soundtrack is just seen as heard as a soundtrack, but it's also heard as silent.
Yes.
So there's this overwhelming silence that any soundtrack is just heard as a beginning and ending, and it passes.
Yeah.
And there's no more holding on to that soundtrack as the story, as real. So
Absolutely.
everything is seen as unreal, and real um, feels real, but it's not really real. And it cannot really be explained. It's intimate though.
It
It's
is.
intimately silent. Yeah. And
It's why I call it the intimate, because it's the
yeah,
closest I can intimate. I can't I can't do it.
yeah,
It's for me. I mean, it's so hard to explain, and I don't go all woo wooey. I just say it as Gloria, how she articulate how consciousness is using this, or the intimate, or God,
yeah,
whatever label anyone wants. It's the show's called Silence Speaks, which is
yes,
paradoxal in itself,
yes,
but it will it will start to resonate. That's why I called the show that. It will start to resonate. And some people say, well, how can silence speak? And especially those from coming through religious backgrounds, I say, well, if you go into Christianity, it says in the beginning, there was a word. Well, a word is sound, vibration. That was it. So you can connect, maybe to understand the paradox that me and Emerson are talking about. Silence speaks. Well, it was silence, but not silence as the human being has the understanding and the concept of. It's still energy, which is still frequency, which is still sound, but it has no identity, no attachment. I can't go any further than that, because there isn't I can't describe.
it's empty. It's empty. It's
Empty.
empty. Yeah.
And it manifests through sensory systems and all that. So silence speaks. Gloria doesn't speak. Emerson doesn't speak, because Gloria and Emerson don't exist. Every time I say that, I want to laugh, because it's like, and no, we haven't gone insane. No, I haven't taken crack. No magic mustards, LSD, and no alcohol. Okay. But
it's funny because when we're talking about soundtrack and silence, what seemed to have appeared, although it's another illusion, is just a laughing track. That there's nothing serious anymore. So
no,
it becomes a situation comedy. It becomes a sitcom.
it is. It's an absolute frigging sitcom.
It is a
I remember.
sitcom.
I remember years as you get the glimpses or saturies, whatever terminology you get light bulbs, and I would, for no reason at all, way back, start giggling, and I'm going, and I say, "There's a joke."
Yeah.
And someone's not telling me the joke, and I remember it again and again, and I
Yeah.
would just laugh, and I was going, "What's the joke?" At that point, I used to say God, not God, man with a beard, but I always had this love in my heart. I don't know what it was. And I go, all right, God, what's the joke? You're very funny. What is it? What is it? And it went on forever. It just pissed me off. And I was laughing at a joke, and I didn't know what the joke was. And then when I found out what the joke was, oh, fuck that. That was like, oh, I am so good at this. Yeah. So, yeah, the humor, and we all say the universe has a great sense of humor, and it does. or the intimate, whatever you call it. I've even introduced jokes into my two groups. Everyone has to tell stupid jokes to keep the humor in, because I think humor is such a vital thing, or music. Music is another one. And tell me what you think of this. Being an artist, when over the years doing my artwork, I'm not here, I'm somewhere else. Musicians, teeth in, when they're composing or when they're playing music, even DJs. I mean, my
Yeah.
son's an MC. When they're in the now, doing their love, their passion. There's no identity.
Yes.
And
Yeah, it's always been,
laughter does it.
yeah.
Laughter, there's no thought when you're laughing.
Yes.
And it's all about the thought. When you're laughing, when you're being creative, artistic, there's no thought.
Yes.
You're in the now. Now.
Yeah.
You're there.
Let's call it the intimate. You're in the intimate. That's
Yes.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hold on, Emerson. Stop plagiarizing my work. Do you know what I mean? And there's no thought. And I think one of the best ways, because not everyone is playing the role of an artist or a DJ like you, but humor, every being has humor in this reality. And humor is the way to go. And it seems to be the forerunner illusionary experience at the moment. Everyone that has, I can't find a word, there's no such thing as realization, there's no such thing as awakening. Everyone who's got the joke.
Yes.
There we go. Everyone that's got the joke, you're just going to laugh all the way after that. It never stops.
Yes. It's funny because sometimes someone gets the joke as a glimpse, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes they forget to laugh.
I know.
After, because
they take it serious.
And all of a sudden, there are seemingly apparent others that is talking about others.
Yeah.
They don't get the joke. There are no others.
No, they don't. I mean, it's a hard one to get your head around at first. Well, I'm going to say, guys, the mind can't understand this. There's no way. You can't speak to the mind. You can't give it to thought. It won't. Yeah. And I always suggest when you get I know you're all out there getting them, because I know, you see, and they're all getting it in my groups. When that happens, you get this glimpse or satori, whatever terminology. Don't let the mind come in. Just sit there in the silence. It's not boring. It's alive. And if you just sit in that silence now, trust me, something happens. But what it is, after 2 or 3 seconds or so, they just come out. They think, I lost it. Where did it go? And that's another one. Maybe we should talk about that, because you spoke about that. I've heard you speak of that. You know that moment when it first kicks in, the light bulbs, and then it's gone. You think it's gone.
Yeah. So when it apparently happens, it never really happens to anyone.
No.
And it doesn't really happen in time, because there's no time, and it's hard to picture that, hard to understand that. That's why it's unspeakable.
Yeah.
And it just becomes a story like this. Everything is a story. So when it's seen that there's no opposites or not two, everything that's being spoken about here is just a story. So when that story apparently happened to a story character, it was not true practice. It was not true meditation. It was not true. It was not trying to go inward, not trying to abide, not even speakers. You know what I'm saying? This character was DJing for quite a while. And what was always apparently known, although it's known that there's no one doing this.
Yes.
So when that was seen, I was like, wait a second. And then sat down, and I've had many, many glimpses because I did practices. So, when there is a temporary kind of like when you try to abide or try to aware, all that kind of stuff like that, that's a temporary glimpse, right? Yeah. So what was seen here was when that was seen it saw, when you see infinity, you will never unsee infinity.
You can't know.
It's always infinity now. There's no now, but it's always infinity. So when infiniteness was seen, that was the end of the story, because the story appears, you know what I'm saying, as a narrative, and it doesn't even happen.
Mm.
It never really happened. So it's almost like everything's already done because this is infinity. It's like
I'm
it,
in
and it's
total agreement.
always been here.
I mean, to anyone coming in now and thinking Emerson is absolutely fucking psychotic, there is Gloria. I'm going to give you an analogy for anyone coming in. So the quick analogy is we're all in a dream. There's a screen, okay, and we're all playing characters in this dream. All of us, and at the side is a green room. You know, like the stage, and we're playing the roles, and then we go off stage and we come out of role play, but then we can come back into the movie, the screen, the dream, and still continue to play the
Yeah.
role, but knowing we're not that.
Yes.
Identity, beliefs, concepts.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So I'm trying to simplify it for anyone
yeah.
to grasp this conversation, which could sound quite lunacy, really, but I get it and you get it. So I'm sure many others in the audience get it. It is I have to say, I want to bring in another point to assist any. I'm playing my role here. I'm winning a bloody Oscar here, I'll have you know. You're not doing too bad. You may come second. I'm going first. You know, it's understanding you don't lose who you are. You're still a mum. You still own a dog like Emerson does and love cinnamon rolls. You're still, it's all stays the same because it's always just been this. The only thing that is the truth of it, the only thing that isn't, which is the illusion, hold on, I'm getting there, I'm doing my best for this, Oscar, is the idea you have about yourself. Right, beat that one. Off you go. See if you can get it.
So what seems to occur is this dream.
Mm-hmm.
This dream that's not basically the same as a nighttime dream. So everything that appears in a dream,
Yeah.
characters, others, your
Yeah.
character,
Yeah.
you know, is the moment that there's a seeing or an awakening, although no one awakens, everything that you believe, every thought, feelings, belief system, others, you collapses.
Yeah.
So it's seen that everything that is real is unreal.
Yeah.
Because it feels real, it's also unreal.
Yeah.
So so when it's seen through that this is just a dream, the character is authentic, becomes authentic. Apparently, it
Yes.
loses all of its trying.
Yes.
It just becomes what it is. So if
Yes.
it's a compassionate character, it's a compassionate character. If it's a funny character, it's a funny character.
Yeah.
But all of the BS about trying to be not funny or trying to be more
Yeah.
compassionate or not compassionate falls away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm in total agreement. I mean, and when you start to, you know, what's it says? When you start to, oh, I don't know what you start. When an understanding comes of this, it's just too hard to explain.
It can never be understood.
No, it can't
No.
be because not. But
No.
anyway, but we're going to do our bestest because this is part of the game. All right,
Gloria, can you hang on for so sorry audience as well? 1 second. I'm just going to let my dog out because
Oh
it
no,
just got in.
dogs come first. Go
Just
on, let
second.
the dog out. Let the dog out. Good evening, Maxine. Good evening, Laura, Christine, Donna, Lady D Barnard, whoop whoop, and Sue, and anyone else I can't see in the chat. I don't want to lean forward. And Air Non-Duality, and anyone watching. Oh God, we have quite a few watching live as well on YouTube and StreamYard. My guest, as you can see, was late, caused a lot of problems, and he's off doing the dog now. So he's just got me. I hope you're enjoying the show. Sorry you got booted off, Christine, but you're back now. We'll just wait for Emerson to return. So if anyone's got a question in the chat, we're going to give you a first-time opportunity. I may never do it again. Anyone got a question that's in the chat in the StreamYard room? I'm not in the YouTube, I'm in StreamYard. So if you have a question, put it up. Otherwise, it'll be too late by the time Emerson comes back. No. I don't know. I think the dogs took Emerson for a walk. Ah, There you go.
Poor puppy.
I thought the dog had took you back. Now, I've totally forgotten what we were talking about before the unofficial break we had
when
there.
when it's seen that there's no one, it's seen as it's really nothing.
Mm.
So there's nothing, no beliefs, no position,
No,
no
no opinion,
no mind, no thoughts, no,
no
it's
opinion,
nothing. It's
nothing.
always nothing.
It
And
always is what it is.
it always is what it is. So that specialness drops because it's not
Mm.
special.
No,
The character, however, in the story plays it in the dream,
yeah,
continues,
yeah.
but in that apparent continuation, when it's seen that it's nothing, so nothing is taken seriously anymore.
Mm.
Nothing is held on to anymore.
No,
Nothing is believed anymore.
no.
So it's this openness, this wide, boundless, edgeless clarity
Mm.
that there's just nothing. And it can't really be understood because trying to understand nothing is something.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Right. I had said while the dog took you for a walk. I said they could. I don't know. We do questions. I said ask a question. So Christine Stapley, she's out of two of my groups. She's the bane of my life and a troublemaker, and I love it a bit. What's the difference? You're presuming there is, but what's the difference between illusion and thoughts? Emerson, I'm passing that one to you. Go for it.
Yes. Both are empty. So illusions are empty, thoughts are empty. They're all just the intimate appearing as thoughts, appearing as illusion. So it's all just empty
Look at
intimacy.
him go
Yeah.
there, guys. I'm not having him outdoing me. You can no. No, I love that answer. Any other questions? Make it difficult for Emerson. Okay? He needs to earn that Oscar. I've got plenty of them here. Do you know what I mean? No, that's a really good answer. It's just the intimate expressing itself in different shapes and forms.
It's the infinite expression of the intimate as
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop plagiarizing my terminology.
My next talk will be about the intimacy of the intimate.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole. No, we don't want them all being locked up. Not yet. We're not going there yet. That's a deeper version. For me, it's my passion. I have a passion. This being has a passion. That's all I can say or call it. I don't have a goal. I don't have an outcome. I have this. I don't even have it. It is this. To stop. I'm in juxtaposition again, to stop psychological suffering. So I do what you call the direct approach with the thoughts to get into the silence, because thoughts is the suffering. It's only thoughts that cause suffering. And when you talk, this sounds like, I don't know what it's that's what I use. This is so hard to explain. So I talk about the thoughts. I do direct straight into now, direct way in. No, there's just no, that's what I do. I don't go any meditation, throw all of that out, get lost. I just go and I just guide them, pointers, just a pointer, and then they're off on their own. Any questions? I say, shut up, that's your mind. I always tell them to shut up. I'm a hard one. I'm not a soft. I say, that's a thought, shut up, your mind's come in, go back in. And I know it's illusionary, but but when they get there, Emerson, it's like all of a sudden this big smile comes on the face and they go, that's how I do it. Or I do it, whatever. Anyway, what's your pointers?
Yeah, here there's nothing to be done because everything is already completely silent.
Yes.
So silence is always silent. So silent might appear as, thoughts about whatever. It might appear as others. It might appear as seen. So there's just this seeing, although there's no one seeing it. There's no one behind the seeing, that everything is already complete and whole. So when there is an apparent communication that's being expressed, that there is no one, there's no separation. Mm-hmm. It's like this It's just that everything is seemingly labeled with words,
Yes.
and all words are separate. It points to separation. So words are really meaningless. And what's being expressed is that when it's seen that everything is just this intimacy, emptiness, wholeness, appearing as whatever. So every thought, every blink, every seeing, everything is the same. So when there is this sameness, wholeness, completeness, then what seems to appear as something that is sought for appears in everything. So everything is home.
I get that, but
Yeah.
that's unfair because I get it. I'm going to add for anyone. I always talk on different levels. Okay. Let's just say every human being on this not duality planet, right? Other, there, up, down. It's the experience of duality. Every human being has their own script. So you're going to follow your journey or your spiritual path, whatever you want to call it, and exactly to the script of this being. Okay? And you will never deviate from it, whether you like it or not. So if you don't follow the script, okay, then you get sacked from the film, okay, and you don't get paid. No, seriously. Payoff, there is a payoff, and I can't even call it joy. I don't know what it is. It's funny. That's the payoff. I don't know what it, that's the payoff. But you're going to follow your script. So there's no one better than anyone else. There's no one more advanced than anyone else. There's no, if someone does 20 hours of meditation and you don't do any, I never meditated, by the way. I want you to know that. No one's lower, higher. So if you get all that shit out the way and you're following a script, the intimate consciousness, whatever you choose to call it, has written the script and is manifesting all places, all time, all people, all dogs, all animals, and it will play out. You can't stop it because you're not even here to stop it. There's nothing you can do about it, so you let go. That's the surrender and enjoy the ride. How about that one?
I would take away the this is gonna be a rascally kind of like expression, a bit more radical.
Be more radical.
Be more radical. So there is no source, there's no writer, there's nothing set, there's no source or higher or anything. It's kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah.
Everything is just this instantaneous automaticness that is happening that does not require any explanation. It's like when the tree is growing, it's just treeing. It's like this apparent, speaking is just speaking happening.
Yes.
And it's just this naturalness and also this mysteriousness that cannot be solved. So in this mystery is
mystery.
Yes.
That's a good word. I'm glad you brought that up. The mystery. And now you can continue, but we must hold on to that word.
Yeah, sure.
After we finish.
So
I like that word.
So in the mystery solver is retired.
Yeah.
The mystery is just
over when the mystery is solved, all right?
Is retired. It tries to solve the mystery. It tries to come back to work the next day and tries to find out what is this mystery, and it goes the next day.
Yeah.
But when it's reminded that it's retired, and then all of a sudden the mystery solver is retired and everything just becomes a mystery.
And it's beautiful.
And it's stunningly beautiful that there's no solution because there's nothing wrong with the mystery.
No. And it's just a mystery, and you don't, well, I don't know about you. I mean, juxtaposition. There's no anticipation. You don't care what happens.
Yes.
You don't even have a thought, I don't care what happens.
Yeah.
And you're constantly like, wow, never saw that. That's all I say now. Wow, never saw that coming. Wow, never saw that coming. There's no prediction. There's no, there's no innate to survive. That's gone, but you survive. Yeah, I like that, and I'm digging myself a hole here because I'm going to get lost. But no, I like that. I like radical. I think to share as many different forms of language we possibly can, because again, I can recall this experience of, you know, meeting Eckhart Tolle's book and then going off and having children and you know what I mean? And then I can recall these things happening. Would you stop it? Mute your screen, you're recording.
Oh, what's happening? Oh,
would you stop it?
Oh, what happened there?
You're recording my live show.
Oh, no, it's actually when the channel, the YouTube is playing the show live.
Oh, mute it.
Yes, it's muted.
He's not getting his Oscar. He's just so not getting it. He's not. Anyway, you can tell this is not an organized conversation. It will go I want to go to the word mysterious, the mystery,
Yes.
Mysterious mystery. So we're watch us in agreement here.
Yeah. So for quite a while, you know, there was this mystery that I wanted to solve.
Yeah.
I wanted to attain this mystery. I wanted to figure out this mystery. And I imagined this mystery as, you know, absolute pure consciousness or whatever. And there was this thinking, this idea that I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
But what you get, you always lose.
Yes.
It doesn't matter, you know, you lose it the next day on your deathbed. And then on deathbed, when everything is lost, there's just this absence, this mystery. And the mystery is infinite.
Yes.
Because when the mystery is solved, then it's just an illusion.
Yes.
So what's being expressed is this infinite expression appearing as a mystery, although it's really no mystery when there's no one there. It's just what is. Yeah.
I love it. Do you know, I find it very sexy when you talk illogical. You know what I mean? There's not many men can talk like you. It's a good chat up line there. You know I mean, I do recall hearing this sort of language way back, and I would and things like, oh, it's so simple, and I'd go, fuck off. What do you mean? What do you mean fucking simple? And I'm even amazed that I totally understand what you said. There's such clarity, but I'm fully aware for anyone in the audience, and, you know, wherever Trevor in this play may not quite think, what the fuck are they talking about? We don't know, so don't worry about it. We're doing good so far. But this mystery, I'll give my version of that. And you can disagree because that's fun then, because, you know, you can be the protagonist. Okay. I knew I was searching. Mine was the truth. It was truth. I knew I was searching for truth. I became every religion in the world. I studied comparative religions, went into criminology, psychology. I did everything. I went round the houses, down the canals, overseas, on the camels, and obtained knowledge, university. And I was searching for, you know, and there was this mystery was there. What is the truth? And then when I went, you know, I used to say, when I called it God says, Gloria, go right. And Gloria always went left, you know. And how many books, I don't read no more, by the way. How many books I read searching for truth and this mystery. And then one day I found the mystery was me. And it was like, what the fuck? What? It was like, boom. That mystery is a beautiful word. I love that. If we're going to use words, mystery is it, because this is the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
You stop the search.
Yeah.
Stop the search.
So the mystery is seeking itself. When it seeks itself, when it finds itself, it's still a mystery.
Absolutely. And I was a criminologist. I love Miss Marple. I used to adore criminologies, you know, all of that. I mean, even the TV programs, I used to love them. And I love a good mystery.
Yes.
I'm so suited for this. It was, now I know why I went into the, you know, the career I did. And I have no, and the things you experience on the mystery is like the famous five, all the magic films you could think of. It's a Harry Potter film. You just bring it all in what you want. It's just,
Mhm.
it's just the mystery is never ending and exciting. I think I've got too excited there. I need to stop. Anyway, moving on. Um, when you were the fake guru for others, so and it's really
Oh, I
good.
believe that was real at that time.
Yes, I know you did, and this is just bringing up. You know, I remember going to, when I was at university, I had all my certificate, and I thought I was so special and important.
Yes.
Okay, I want you to know this now. I played a good role for that, and I believed that was me. And when that just vanished, I have to tell you, if you're feeling good, guys, about what you've achieved, that's fine. Feel good, enjoy it. It's momentarily. But when it goes, that feels good. It's that is a little good, your achievements. It's okay, it's good. There's nothing wrong with seeking, to be happy and goals. Keep going, you're on your own. But when that goes, it's like freedom. Whoosh, that feels good. It feels good without any label, any identity, no achievements. There's no thing. Did I explain that okay, Emerson? Do you
Yes.
resonate? Now you top that one. You go for it. I love this. We'll have a game show.
Yeah. When there is just this the unraveling of all
Yes.
the belief system, the
Yeah.
drowning of all truths that I held on to,
Yeah.
the disappearance of everything that I did good and everything that I did bad,
Yes.
the disappearance of the I,
Yes.
and there was just this unconditional unknowingness of what
Yeah.
is occurring because it's also not occurring. So
Yes.
everything that this held on to, the time, the belief, everything collapsed. And when
Yes.
it's seen that that was collapse, it's like when its infinity is seen,
Mm.
not by anyone, because infinity is infinity and it
Yeah.
doesn't have any separation.
Yeah.
When it's seen that everything is this infinite expression of infinity,
Mm.
then there was just this wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's no words, really.
No.
There's no words. It's unspeakable. It's unspeakable. And there's a relief, but not for anyone.
Yes.
There is this is home, but no one ever left home.
No.
So it's almost like a plot twist in a movie, when you're watching a movie, that everything is just a dream.
Yes.
It's
Um,
it's like it's like that Wizard of Oz at the
yes.
ending of it, right? There's this scene that it's always been home. So the
Always.
longing for home, all of
Yeah.
that adventure in
Yeah.
Technicolor, was black and white, always home.
Always home. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I so resonate with that. I do use the analogy of to explain, like, has anybody out there had a really vivid nighttime dream when you go to bed? Okay, so remember, you take your identity to bed, and your consciousness goes into a different state of consciousness, and then you dream. And even if your babies are next to you, your loved ones, your puppies, your dogs, the sexiest person in the world, when you're in that state of consciousness, there's no identity. They're gone. They don't exist. And you're in a dream. You're experiencing other things. You're just having, so say, for example, you're having a nightmare. We've all had those. And you're having a nightmare. Let's do a nightmare scenario scene now, acting scene, part one. So Emerson's having a dream that he's being chased by a psychotic, crazy woman called Gloria with a machete. And she's quite a bit of a ninja warrior. And she's attacking Emerson while he's dreaming, obviously, with a machete. And I've already cut his arm off. I've sliced his face. He's down there. He is experiencing it in the dream as if it's real.
Mm.
And he's in fear.
Mhm.
And he thinks he's going to die. And Let me tell you, I've experienced that 3 times. Didn't need it the fourth, trust me. And it's horrific. And then Emerson wakes up screaming to the waking state, still feeling the residue of Gloria chasing him with a machete and chopping his bits off while she's celebrating. Oh, anyway, and then he goes, "Oh my God, it's a dream. Oh my God." He doesn't mourn the loss of limbs. He doesn't mourn. He doesn't go, "Wait till I get that Gloria. I'm going to go and prosecute." He doesn't do any of that. When whatever happens, happens, when the intimate illusionary realizes itself, that's how it is. How about that for an analogy?
I like that. Yeah, it's good.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah,
Do I get an Oscar?
2.
Ooh. And I do use that analogy to try and snap the mind.
It is. You can also take it further, saying that what is seemingly happening right now is like that nighttime dream.
Yeah.
So anything that you believe, anything that appears in this is not questioned at all, like in a nighttime dream.
Yeah.
So there is just this belief in this happening, although there's no one here that disbelieves anything. It's just this openness. Everything is just this wide open happening, and anything can happen because it's not happening to anyone, like a dream.
Like a dream. It's a dream. It's just yeah. I mean, I mean, what more can you say of that? There's really, I think the best analogy is a dream analogy. I always do. Other people have other analogies. But as to pointers, Emerson, before we close the show, pointers, I use like the direct. I don't use a point. I just take them to a space, get rid of their thoughts, and they go off explore, and they get it gone. That's, and other little things like that. But there's many different ways to give pointers. There's no teachers, by the way, I'll have you know. There's in the duality, there are pointers like synchronicities or breadcrumbs, like Emerson's a breadcrumb. That means, fuck, I'm a breadcrumb too. All right. Yeah, well, there you go. That's very humbling, isn't it? You breadcrumb, you. There's little breadcrumbs, pointers, synchronicities. But the script will be followed. So we're playing our roles, me and Emerson. This is part of the script. And we're aware we're playing the roles in the script. So Emerson can't piss me off and I can't piss him off. And who gives a fuck anyway? So there you go. It really doesn't matter, does it, Emerson? So what could you add to that? I'm saying it's like breadcrumbs. You're bound to come out with something more elegant than I, and I'll hit you with your Oscar. I'm telling you. But
there's no we that's playing. It's just role playing. It's just like a play. It's like when two puppies are playing. Sometimes it gets really joyful. Sometimes it gets really nasty.
Yeah.
A play is a play. It's a hide and seek, so to speak, but there's no one hiding.
No.
Everything is already. It's a funny hide and seek because everything is already exposed. Yes. Everything is here already. So there's no hide and seek. So it's a dualistic play of something that cannot be separated.
Yes.
So this is inseparable. It's unrecognizable.
Yes.
But it's in everything.
Yes.
It's in everything.
See how illogical he is? I win the Oscar. I did better. I want the Oscar. I tell you another one.
And there's another one. There's no pointing here. I usually use stories. I don't usually point pointers because a story can undo a story in the story. So there's a innocent convicted felon thinking that he's convicted that is looking for liberation.
Yeah.
Dreaming of liberation.
Yeah.
But he thinks that he's convicted and guilty and everything. But what seems to appear is that this apparent character is actually outside the prison already, but keeps on looking through the prison cell, looking at bars and find a way out from the inside when it's already outside.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
what usually is expressed here is like, well, actually, you're already outside, and there's no you outside. It's all outside and inside are the same.
love
So
it.
it's already free. There's no free, and there's no not free and free. It's always
Love it.
unconditionally free.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Right. No, I won't hit you with your Oscar. Right. My analogies, I mean, you call it plagiarizing, but there's no such thing. Um, I like the one, oh God, I've just gone. It's just left out my head. Someone's took it away from me. I was going to say it. I like this one. There's two analogies I have here. One of them is I use analogy is the same as a story, by the way, I suppose. Um, there were 10 boys. I think I heard this from Sadhguru, actually, so it's not out of my own being. There were 10 boys crossing a wild river, and the trepids and whirlpools and everything like that. And they all decided, 10 juvenile delinquents, to cross the river to the other side. So they all crossed the river. When they got to the other side, the head boy said, right, did everyone make it? Or did we all make it? Is anyone dead? So he went, I'll count. And he went, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my God, we've lost a boy. There's one missing. So another boy says, no, you can't count. Let me do it. And another boy come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he went, oh my God, we've lost someone. You're right. There's only 9 of us. And they all got together and they started crying. And a stranger was walking past. And he went up to the boys and said, what's your problem? Why are you crying? And he said, oh, sir, 10 of us crossed the river. And we've lost one boy and he's dead. And we're crying because we've lost him. The stranger was aware what had happened. So the stranger says, count again and I'll watch you. And the boy said, no, there's only 9 of us. He said, count again. I will watch you. I will stand by you. So the boy went, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the stranger took hold of his hand and turned it in. And the boy went, 10. If you get that analogy, you're there. That for me is my story on, I call it pointers. It's pointers. And that's what I use. Pointers. I don't know what else to use but the word pointers. Okay. I like your story and does a story, but
Yeah.
I tell pointers, analogies,
Yeah.
comparisons,
Yeah.
just to, now that works on some, but there's many others that work on different intimate beings. We can't say that though, can we? You can't say, not yet anyway, you intimate being, you can't say that. We will get locked up for that
from
one.
a radical from radical expression, those 10 boys would be, they're all dead.
Yeah, I know.
It's
You
all a
can be
story.
radical to me, darling. I told you, he's got really good chat up lines. I can just imagine you pulling so many other beings in your life the way you know what I mean? Yeah, you keep going. But no, I mean, on my show, I'm not as radical as you, but some of the guys watching live tonight in my 2 rooms, you see radical. I mean, you see, I play another role, and they would tell you, yeah. Just I can't even go there. How I play, and it works. Radical
Yes.
works, but on this, because it's broadcast, it's out, it's collective, and I'm not here to antagonize anybody.
Likewise.
So I have to give the juxtaposition to show many ways, but to show the humor within this. You actually don't have to do jack shit. Just go on living your life. It doesn't make any difference at all. It doesn't matter, even if it matters. But I'd like to say that, but the script is written and it's got to carry it on. And if you resist, then you're back in the identity. So it's just happening. Happening is happening. And we're happening. Now, my dear Emerson, if people want to get hold of you and have their brains fried, No, seriously. I was in your Zoom room. I see how you operate. Um, where can they get hold of you on
um,
websites or YouTubes or anything like that,
they can
Emerson?
just type in, search Emerson Nonduality on either emersonnonduality.com and YouTube Emerson Nonduality. It's just simple.
So
Nothing will
it's
be an offer. It's just simple.
just you see, I didn't call him simple. I didn't do that. You know, now I just want to get that out of the way because I didn't want to forget. I didn't want to forget that. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
And I put the link up on the page for his webpage. Okay. I've been in his Zoom. I was only in there 30 minutes. And I must say, I don't want to say nice things about him. So don't listen, Emerson. I watched how he spoke to the guys in his group and how he listened to them. He was the space, because that's all you have to be, is the space or the intimate. And the response, there was no judgment, there was no anything, and it was beautiful what I witnessed in your Zoom room. I have to say, Emerson, it was beautiful. I cuss mine in my Zoom room. I just cuss. I'm a different type of, I don't know what I am. Anyway, moving on. We've done all the adverts and all that bit, and I'm telling you, you are coming back on the show somewhere down the line.
This has been really great. Thank you.
That would be wonderful, because it's got to happen. It's too much fun with you. I'm going to pose you a question.
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Now, I'm posing it from the juxtaposition.
Yes.
So I'm posing it from Gloria.
Yeah.
I want you to pretend to be Emerson.
Sure.
All right? That knows what you know. Gloria says, I, the intimate consciousness, God, whatever, source, if I self-realize, everything else that's manifested has to. There's no waiting for collective to. You hearing stories. Now, hold on. You know where I'm going. You hear stories. Oh, when we get enough in the collective, if we get 60%, yeah. For me, I, juxtaposition, self-realize, brackets, everyone is. Your point of view on that one.
When it's seen that it, yeah, when it's seen that it's all nothing, then nothing, then there's just nothing.
Game over.
It's game over. Yeah, there's nothing.
Thank
and
you.
There's nothing really, but everything seems to.
Yeah.
But it's always nothing. And it's
I
know.
Know.
Yeah.
You see how we communicate?
Yes.
We're just talking.
And it doesn't make sense.
We understand. Yeah. I totally agree with what you just said.
Yeah.
Could he give it any more clarity? No. You know what? It's been a joy having you on the show.
Oh, likewise.
It's been so much fun.
Likewise.
I love your authenticity.
Oh, thank you.
That is important to me. The authenticity, even when the dog took you for a pee. That was fun. No, it's amazing, and you're going to have to come back again.
For sure, yes. Yeah.
We can try and communicate something else. It's
yeah, we'll talk about cinnamon rolls and.
Oh, I love cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
Do you have it where are you? Canada?
Yes.
Right. In the UK, we have them round and twirly.
That's the same.
Really?
Yes. And I love it with London fog tea with some Earl Grey tea. Cream of Earl Grey tea. It's
you can
with
dream away, love. You can just dream as much as you bloody want. Yuck. I'm a black coffee drinker.
Ooh, likewise. I like black coffee too.
Oh,
I like espresso, and I like strong coffee, medium.
Yeah.
I like. There's just this openness to everything, seemingly.
Oh yeah, yeah. But we don't open to illicit drugs, okay?
Oh, okay.
We don't do that, okay?
Right.
Well, you don't need to, because trust me,
there's no escaping this. It's illicit drugs used to be for escapism, but this is just what is. I I also want to remind the audience that's watching this that because I promised them that there's a breakout room going back to for people that was in the meeting that's watching this right
Oh,
now.
yeah. Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, because you did say that.
Yeah.
For you peoples in the Zoomies, there's a breakout room to discuss with Emerson in his dialect what happened in this show. And if any one of you guys in his breakout room can understand anything me and Emerson said, good luck to you. It's been fantastic.
Likewise.
Have a wonderful weekend. But before you go, what time is it in Canada?
In Canada, it is 4:23.
Okay. In the UK, it is. Don't go yet, Emerson. Just stay there. Right?
Yeah.
It's 9:20 at night. For everyone watching the show, thank you for joining us. For everyone watching it on the replay, I'm back tomorrow night with another brackets non-dualist. I have no idea what's coming. I love it that way. It's the best way. I'm Gloria. This is Open Minds podcast, Non-Duality. Thank you for watching. Until the next time. Bye, guys.